The mad lads over there at Arrowhead Studios have managed to take one of the biggest L's in all of gaming history and spin it into a gigantic W. This is absolutely crazy, this turnaround. Now, for those of you who are not apprised of this situation, I would encourage you to go back and take a look at a video that I did a couple of days ago. Well, I think it would be within the past couple of days in regards to Helldivers and Sony trying to come in over the top, force Steam players, PC players of the game to sign up for a PSN account, one of the least secure, one of the biggest companies on the face of the earth that gets routinely hacked. Get them PC players to sign up for an account all under the guise of safety and security. Well, they ended up backtracking after they realized that, oh god, this really isn't going well and they aren't going to forget this. So they let that gestate over the entire weekend, and then just before studios opened on Monday, they went, hey guys, don't worry about it, everything's going to be fine, we're just going to return to business as usual. And well, you take a look at the Steam charts, and the fact of the matter is everybody's kind of forgiven Arrowhead and Sony. Not so much Sony. The farther they stay away from this project, the better it's overall going to be, which is kind of been Sony's MO throughout 2024, but this kind of harkens back to another situation where you have Arrowhead Studios looking to meme their way out of the situation. Take a look at this headline. Helldivers 2 devs are considering turning the game's review bombing graph into a cape. Now, this is what you do with this situation. I don't think they were the ones that called for the inclusion of a Sony PSN account. I don't think that they were the ones to make the call, but obviously we knew that the CEO some 6 months ago knew that these changes were going to happen. So the fact that they weren't necessarily transparent with that stuff means that potentially they were negotiating this change that we're hoping didn't come to light and wouldn't end up negatively affecting their user base, but it's something that we'll never know. And frankly, as nice as it would be to understand those negotiations, it's just all hypothetical at this point in time. But them trying to turn this incredible negative into a massive success by memeing their way out of this kind of reminds me of the Madam Web situation. Funny, Sony, just a different division, still playing through the exact same through line with this, where you had Sydney Sweeney being attached to that catastrophic bomb come out on the other side of it by just simply going along with the joke. And that's what we're seeing right here. And most people have fallen on this side of the conflict, justifiably so. Arrowhead CEO John Pilstead has said the studio is considering making Helldivers 2 negative review graph into an in-game cape, thus immortalizing the great Steam and PSN account linking fiasco forever. Earlier today, PlayStation announced it would be reversing the decision to force PC players to link their Steam and PSN accounts in order to play Helldivers 2. The announcement came after Arrowhead's hit live service game was barraged with negative reviews over the weekend. Yeah, that's what happens when you end up dropping stupidity on Friday and going radio silent on it over the weekend, and then you realize that, yeah, it's actually not all that necessary to have the PSN account. We can just return back to normal and then everybody will just forgive us real quick. Yeah, we'll just go with that one. The May 6th update, yes, which would have required Steam and PSN network accounts linking for new players and for current players beginning May 30th, will not be moving forward. There's the truncated version of their announcement. Well, Helldivers 2 publisher Sony Interactive Entertainment announced last week they would be forcing players on PC to link their Steam accounts with a PSN account. The games community quickly review bombed the game to express overwhelming dissatisfaction with the decision. While Helldivers 2 previously had an overwhelmingly positive review badge on Steam, over 200,000 negative reviews brought the game's overall rating down to mixed. And if you just took a look at the short-term reviews, overwhelmingly negative. We have never seen a swing in public perception for a game like this. Literally ever. It's amazing to see. And now the requirement that has been reversed by Sony, the Helldivers 2 community, is urging players around the world to reverse their reviews. They return to the game and to return the game to a positive rating. But Arrowhead CEO John Pilstead has suggested the studio might be intending to have some fun with the negative reviews, and that's the way that you win back public sentiment. Because yeah, it's nice that you reverse that, but it's also a negative sign that you guys were willing to engage with this insanity to begin with. Let's not forget, let's not forget, there are some responsible parties in this, because outside of Sony just doing a typical Sony, there's some bad faith actors that are involved in this. And shout out to Grummz once again for just simply pointing out the obvious. Have you noticed the lead community manager for Helldivers and the few I highlighted are not celebrating the PSN decision, but instead playing victim? Oh yeah, I have been noticing that. The people just magically coming up with one of the many community managers that we've spoken on in the past, just saying, oh, now that PlayStation has reviewed it, can you guys just stop being mean to me, without citing any specific examples. Meanwhile, the only examples that I can see is, why was nobody trying to do community management over the weekend? Instead, you guys just decided to go radio silent on one of the most contentious issues over that 3-day span. Why wasn't anybody talking about that? They were the ones who wanted more power to ban you. Yeah, it was almost like there was one community manager in particular that was applauding the decision to link the PSN account because they wanted easier access to ban you. These are the petty tyrants where if you afford them just a drop of authority, they're going to abuse it. And this is what they do. This is exactly what they do. Grummz calls for Helldivers 2 community manager team to be fired after moderator accuses him of some incredibly terrible things. What is wrong with these people? Okay, it's just like community management positions are just like human resources department. I think they're cut from the exact same cloth. Mark Kern, aka Grummz, the former World of Warcraft team lead, called for Arrowhead Studios to fire their community manager after one of the company's Discord moderators accused Kern of, you can go ahead and read to your heart's content. First, Grummz shared the X screenshot. Wow, look at this. Receipts for accusations, not just simply baseless assertions. He's providing the goods. Screenshots of Helldivers 2 Discord moderator Purple Squidgen, sure, since renamed his account to Bird, accused him of SA. In the post that appeared to be deleted, Purple Pigeon wrote in the Helldivers 2 Discord, someone who many people he worked with lost his position as CEO. Now is a far-right influencer who had people attack more than one of our community managers and their families. Well, that's just patently untrue, because you can take a look at everything that Grummz has done, because he does this wonderful thing. He makes his research public on Twitter. You can go ahead and troll his entire feed. You will not find any personal attacks of anybody's extended family. You will just simply see the actions of these corrupt community managers. It's very simple. It's very simple. However, in another post he wrote, anyone here who is Grummz fan, please out yourself so I can help you out the door. Just eliciting people to ban. Oh, and you can see just from the little icons that are there, one person is telling them, please get help. Meanwhile, 29 thumbs down, not exactly being received all that well. When confronted on his accusations, Purple Pigeon doubled down, writing slander implies it was a lie. Well, if you're going to make these accusations, you gotta come forward with the receipts. Kern reacted to these posts, writing Helldivers moderator Purple Squidgen falsely proclaims that I had done things to many people. Falsely claims I sent people to attack their CMs and their families, currently banning anyone who defends me or even likes a comment that defends me from this slander. He added, Helldivers 2, Johan Pilstead. It's not okay. And your community team is out of control and lying. Also, I'm not far right. I'm actually left of center. And these radicals have pushed all sanity into a bucket and kicked it off a cliff. Yeah, exactly. Because human resources departments, community managers, DEI departments, whatever you want to do, you can go ahead and put them all. You can all put them in a bucket right there, because they're the ones who are in charge with community outreach. These are the people trying to put out the public face for a company by hook or by crook, and then also their ways of getting into these institutions are normally quite a lot by crook. And then instead of making a much more amenable situation, they just decide to dial up the toxicity to 11. It's never been a winning strategy, but they continue to do this because they think that they can continue to force their way into these businesses. But as we're seeing right now, and especially with this reversal with Helldivers, these people who used to have the overwhelming amount of power are definitely losing it. That's a big W for the community. He added Helldivers 2, yes, Johan Pilstead. I already read that part. Anyways, following this post, it appeared that Helldivers 2 Discord moderation team began actively blocking the word Grummz. okay, weird. He just lives rent-free in these people's heads. Ex-user Every Equine Inch, sure, attempted to post a message reading, "Is that one mod still freaking out about Grummz?" and received a message. Content is blocked by the server. The server moderators, this message was prevented by an auto mod rule created by Probot. Interesting. So what would end up being one of the banned words? Mod freaking out about? No, it's got to be Grummz. Can confirm. There you have it. There you have it. Current reaction: mention my name is banned in the Helldivers Discord. They are blaming me for their own PR mess. Yeah, no, this was a disaster of your guys' own making. Thankfully, the vocalization of the fan base and the people that didn't want to see their beloved game torn asunder spoke up loud enough that Sony had to go ahead and take their own head out of their collective asses. Because you didn't see that advocacy, at least in the public light, from Arrowhead. This was an overwhelming backlash of the consumers. This is 100% a gamer victory. "Hey, I wasn't the one that required PSN accounts," he added. "You can blame me all you want, but this one is on you." Exactly. Then he called for the community manager to be fired. Well, if you're not doing your job, should you be fired? Yeah, I would say so. Jokes aside, this is a dangerous precedent. If you become too effective of a critic of Sony and Arrowhead Game Studios and stand up for gamers, they will ban your name from the Helldivers Discord as Discord server and personally attack you. This is a blatant abuse of community manager power. Worst CM team in history. Fire them. And I've got to echo those sentiments because where's the lie? Where is the lie? This is the latest in a growing track record of immoral and despicable behavior of Helldivers 2 community manager team. Back at the beginning of April, community manager Catherine Baskin, yes, the one who is saying, "Oh, can you guys please stop sending me bad messages now that Sony reversed their decision?" It's like, why weren't you doing your job to begin with? Okay. As brought to attention by Grummz, Baskin replied to a Steam curator list that recommended Helldivers 2 and claimed the game was not woke. She initially just wrote LMAO. Yeah, because these freaks want their own personal politics infested in everything that they do. That's why I talk about this in multiple disciplines, okay? Never do business with blue-pilled simps or woke idiots. It doesn't matter how good of a job they do, okay? Their own personal politics are going to infest and ruin the product. Might be a top-tier community manager in other aspects. Clearly not in this one. She might have the most illustrious human resources bachelor's degree, okay? She could have got top marks in her field. But you were hired to do a job. You were hired to be a liaison from Arrowhead to the public. And what do? Play the victim and insert your own politics. Like, nobody asked, bro, okay? Your game's on a curator list. If you want to go ahead and blast out the curator list because your game's a part of it, fantastic. It's been added to this and many other lists because of the overwhelming fan support that's out there. Okay, go check them out. If you're so inclined, you can go ahead and do that if you want. But no. Instead, you'll just waste away your days. Plus, Helldivers is pretty woke, dog. Game was made by a lot of, LGBTQAIPRRSNTLMNOP and brown and black people and women, and apparently, yeah, you went to school for a human resources degree and skipped out on the English requirement because there's not a lot of quality grammar on display, and women, and it's a big satire of jingoism. Yeah, it's all about spreading super democracy and killing the bugs. Pretty simple. It amuses me that they don't know Super Earth is bad. No, they do. They just like the whole pew pew, gun gun, shoot shoot, bang bang. It's far more fun than, your totally political sphere that you can't see anything outside of. It also explains a lot about the world at present. No, it really doesn't. It just says more about you and people with your ideology. The people that are simply going to personalize a catastrophe and try to make it all about them. It's just wild. So yeah, even if you don't agree with Grummz and the fact that he is being defamed by these types of weirdos, thinking that they should be fired based on their defamatory statements, you can just take a look at the job that she does and realize that, yeah, if you're not fit for purpose, why are you fit for a paycheck? Well, and then also you can take a look at her icon and realize she's not really fit for much. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.